What am I seeing in Austin during
What
coronavirus?
does my community look like right now?
During the corona pandemic, what am I seeing now in Austin?
So I came out to Gibbons Park to take a picture of the number 2 bus. I wanted a picture of the sign that says cover your face because I haven't seen that kind of messaging on a bus before, and graffiti that says like rent strike, no rent without work or wages, and so I wanted to document that too.
So our neighborhood historically has people who transfer out with AISD's transfer policy. And so while I know from looking at people's yards that they have children, we don't know these children. Until now, we are seeing kids we've never seen before that are my kids' age, riding bicycles, taking walks with their family. And I'm really looking forward to getting to know these people when we're allowed to.
With neighborhood kids, my kids included, what they do is they find little rocks and paint little designs on them, and then they strategically place them around the neighborhood so that when they go on a walk, they're always on the lookout for other people's rocks. It's a very helpful situation for us because we're dealing not just with the coronavirus, but with educating our kids. So it's a great thing for us because it just makes them be more observant and more aware of nature and what's around them.
The things that's changed since the coronavirus is, I can remember, I can go back because I was born and raised here, traffic, and traffic is not as hectic as it used to be. And that's one of the things that I enjoy it, because traffic has gotten hectic because of everybody moving in, businesses and all that. A bunch of things has changed. For me, as far as what I can think about is family. Kids are home, and you got to think about them. A lot of the kids, when they was at school, they ate a good meal. Now they're at home, and I'm worried about, are they eating? And good thing about AISD is that they are going to different places like, Gibbons Park, Dale Valley, and they're feeding the kids that are hungry. But now this is just something that I think that God just said for us to sit down, take a break, take a breather, and start bonding with your family, get in good with your family, and just hang out with them and enjoy it.
My name is Mike Johnston. I also go by the name Truth, and I'm a muralist and street artist here in Austin. So the 2 main forms of street art that I've seen really a boom in would be the illegal tags. Definitely seen a lot more of those popping up. And my guess is that people are thinking, okay, I could probably get away with getting out and tagging and less people policing, less people checking for that. So that's one form. The other form that I've seen on 6th Street, they did a wonderful project where all the boarded up bars pretty much got these temporary murals, and you can see the theme, you can see that people are trying to share words of positivity, how to get through corona, how to stay upbeat. And so for me, those are things that I've witnessed and definitely been inspired by, more so the pieces that are on 6th Street, because I just think the imagery is what I'm drawn to, and I like seeing that. Would have been kind of like a ghost town, but now it's like a walk-in museum, a walk-in street art tour. Yeah, I would say that probably because I am always looking for street art and graffiti, those things really stand out. But because life is at a much slower pace right now, I feel like I'm not so much in a hurry or a rush to get places. I feel like I am on a swivel, looking around more and noticing things, just smaller details of things I hadn't noticed before. And it's because, life went from like 100 miles per hour down to like 10 miles per hour.
Being stuck at home all the time has enabled myself and my partner to sort of monitor construction sites in a way that we've never been able to before. We notice little details, and almost it's like we're almost familiar with the construction crews. Right, there's a house being built next to us, and literally today we were just talking, I think they're going to start the 2nd floor today. That conversation wouldn't be happening if we weren't stuck at home all the time. I was in the supermarket yesterday and everyone had masks on, obviously, and it was fairly crowded, socially distant, but there were a lot of people there, and so we were all relying on body language and eye contact to communicate with each other. I found myself winking and doing different body movements that I wouldn't normally do to convey certain things, like I'd like to move past you now, or do you mind if I grab a potato? It was just funny. I found myself looking into people's eyes, to strangers' eyes, in a way that I definitely have not done before.
I see my community differently now, my neighborhood. One of the things that I've become really aware of is just how privileged we are in this part of town. Our community is flourishing here on West Creek. Our lawns are green, our gardens are gardened. In so many ways, I've actually enjoyed this time because I have been able to have dinner with my family every night of the week. That wasn't happening before. We sleep in, we cook together, and I know that that's just a very privileged place to be. But I'm also really aware of the families who live in small spaces, in apartment complexes. How do you accommodate them? What if the adults have to go to work? I'm, wrestling with some of these realities, that other people's reality and what they're living and what their life is like, I know is very different than what my life is like.